It's Craig here, product manager at Broker Engine. I wanted to do a really quick live example of me using Broker Engine to update my workflow to manage a change in lender process. And the change in lender process I'm looking to implement is one of the new rules around verification of identity or customer onboarding with a particular lender. In this case, that's ANZ, but that's just one example. And what I've done is I've come into Broker Engine, I've built a new workflow, and I've called it 10 mortgage documents issued. My trigger is when the deal moves into mortgage documents issued. When the docs are issued by the lender, I want to be able to go to the client and remind them or advise them they're going to have to pop into the branch. That's my first thing. Hey, you have to pop into the branch and have onboarding process completed. And the second thing I'm going to want to do is make an introduction to that branch. So what I've done is I've done it mortgage documents issued. The workflow is only going to trigger if the lender is ANZ. You could also go a little bit more detailed and go, look, only trigger this workflow if the mortgage is ANZ and non-face-to-face process is required. But I think generally speaking, onboarding with ANZ is quite good in branch anyway, so you might want to do it for all of ANZ clients. I've then gone, okay, what I want to do now, I want to share it to my entire broker group, where I can just select individual brokers if I wish, so the workflow will only apply for whichever brokers I've selected, but in this case, it's going to apply for all brokers in my group. And then what I want to do is I want to have an email. So when the lender is ANZ and the deal moves into stage 10 mortgage docs issued, I want an email that goes out. And it's just a simple email, use whatever text you want, but I've just sort of said, look, hi, mortgage docs have been issued. You're going to need to pop into branch to have them witnessed and signed and to complete onboarding, and I'll make an introduction for you now. And then my next email, of course, I want is the email that I'm going to send to the branch. And so that email looks like this. I've just called it Introduction to ANZ Branch Manager, again, to the entire broker group. And remembering that if you're working in a team, and also for yourself, I've just put some little notes there that this email has to be sent to the nearest branch manager email nearest to the client, and the client's current address is that. So what I'm trying to do here is I don't want to have to remember this. I'm doing a deal for ANZ right now, and when it moves into docs issued, I don't have to remember all the different processes, different lenders. So you can sort of create a workflow based on the particular lender. And what I've done is I've put the client's postal address, and the reason for that is if you've got clients all over Australia, your team or yourself are going to need to be able to go, well, what's their nearest address? You want to make it as easy as possible. So you put the address at the top line, obviously, and then what I've done is I've attached the list of ANZ branch contact to the email. And so there's those branch contacts with the emails and things like that, which you get from the ANZ website. And so what I'm doing there is what's going to happen here is the email, because I haven't got a to there, it's going to send it to the broker, myself, and I'm going to be able to have to manually fill in, hi, Karen, hi, Mary. So it's going to send it to my email, Gmail, Outlook. I'm going to then go, okay, which is the nearest branch? Great. I'm then going to put in, hi, Mary, and delete the attachment, and then forward that onto the branch manager, CCing in the client. So I'm trying to make it so that when that email comes through into the inbox, everything is in that email that the user is going to need to actually send that on to the branch manager and send that on and CC in the client as well. Now, you could have it that it goes to your team. That's fine. You can go to the assigned team member, broker team, or the broker itself. But I normally have this one. I'd have this one come to me in my inbox. It's sort of as a trigger. Oh, that's right. I've got to forward this on now. And that way I can do a quick edit, add in the right names and things like that, and forward it on. Now, if you're just doing sort of one area, Brisbane, or probably a smaller area than that. But if you're just doing one area, you can actually enter in the branch manager details in here if it's going to be the same person every time. If you're really on a really tight area, so you wouldn't need to worry about attaching this and worrying about editing it. You could actually just insert hi Karen if it's the same person every time. And in fact, we have some logic in Broker Engine that you can put in your branch manager anyway, so you can mail merge that field. But that's just an example of me building a quick workflow. So when this current deal I'm doing at the moment gets to docs issued, I'm not going to forget to get the client to go into branch. The email is going to come out automatically. All I'm going to do is save that, and I'm going to publish that. And I've just created a workflow that's going to trigger now if those conditions are met. That's one example of just quickly updating a workflow in real time. It took me about sort of 2 or 3 minutes. Most of the work is actually drafting the email and thinking about the language. But again, if you sort of draft the email and then you go, I didn't quite like that, you can obviously always come back in there and quickly edit your email template. Craig Vaughan here, product manager at Broker Engine. Any tweaks you're interested, jump on to brokerengine.com.au.